I think one of the most irresponsible things a person can do financially is shop with a company that they don't actually own. Think about it. If you believe in a company enough to give them your hard-earned dollar, why don't you believe in that company enough to own a piece or get some profits and revenues from the same company? My name is Brian M. Bean, Mentor to Millions, and I'm back again with another one of the 5 investment considerations that you should at least consider when it comes to building wealth. Remember, text me at 678-632-3914 with keywords I'll consider. If you want more information, 678-632-3914 with keywords I'll consider. Now remember, so far we've talked about 2 important steps prior to video number 3. 1, you got your miniature emergency, $3,000 cash that you can touch in case inconveniences in life that are inevitable in case it happens. Now you got your 6 months worth of an emergency. If your boss ever trips or your job ever downsizes, then guess what? You can trip yourself right up out the company because you have your cash reserves already in place. We also talked about your retirement account. These are just tax codes. Whether you use an IRA or a 403B or a 401k, you got to have something in place so one day you won't have to trade time for dollars. Well, guess what? Today I want to talk to you guys about a very, very important consideration, especially if you're early in the investment game. This is real simple. Exchange traded funds. F-U-N-D-S. Some also call them mutual funds. Now, why is a mutual fund important? Well, first of all, it has a lower learning curve. It's not like stocks that you have to understand fully, right? It's not like a bond where it has a low rate of return, but a ETF or exchange traded fund or mutual funds, they're very, very good to start with as an introduction because what? The fees are extremely low. The learning curve is really, really low. And you have different corporations from all over the world contributing to the fund. So some that are wealthy hate the word diversification. But I call an ETF or an exchange traded fund an introduction. Think about it. If you have several different Fortune 500 companies that are contributing to this fund, and you now have for a very, very low fee, a firm like Vanguard or T. Rowe Price that manages that fund, and you have an opportunity to use Delta because you fly on Delta, then why shouldn't you own a small piece of Delta's growth? If you have Louis Vuitton, or if you have Gucci shoes, or if you have a purse that you carry, or if you have a store that you frequent, why not own a piece of a fund that those companies are borrowing from so they give you a larger rate of return? Believe it or not, guys, that's all an exchange traded fund is. It's a collaboration of different companies that are participating in a fund and borrowing money from that fund that you contribute to, and they're giving you a rate of return higher than inflation. See, the thing about a mutual fund is really simple. You're an investor even when you put your money in a bank. Why? Because that bank is giving you interest. Why? Because they're lending your money out. Why? Because you put it in an account that they control. The problem is you're only getting a small rate of return on your money because you're what's called, or I call, an involuntary investor. That means they're taking your money without your permission and they're giving you a rate of return smaller than inflation. Mutual funds are a way to start becoming what I call a voluntary investor. That means you're giving these funds your discretionary income. You're giving these funds money that you don't need right now. These major corporations are borrowing from that fund and they give you a rate of return higher than inflation. Why? Because you're giving them the money that it takes to help them create cash flow for their day-to-day operations. How is it that you have the Gucci belt, the Gucci purse, the Louis Vuitton outfit, the Honda, the PlayStation, the Nikes, but not the Nike stock, the PS5, but not the Sony stock? How do you have the belt and the shoes, but not the stock? A mutual fund may be considered a weak investment by some arrogant, wealthy people, but I call it an introduction to you investing because the fees are low and it does not cost a ton of money to enter the exchange traded fund game. Just one of the 5 things you should consider on your way to wealth. Text me, I'll consider 678-632-3914 for more information. And continue to video number 4 and 5 as we ramp up to the number 1 asset you can build and the number 1 investment you can make.